Hey, my name's Amy and welcome to Hooked on Stories. So this week my project is I want to create a large amigurumi fried egg. I have wanted to crochet one since I made a small one, and I just thought that making a big one would be like so funny to put on the couch or something like that. And so this is a project that's been on my list for a little while. But in actual fact, not only am I wanting to do that this week, I want to actually test out a few yarns that I recently purchased. So this yarn is by a brand called Creative Place that I found in an Aldi supermarket of all places. I don't know if Aldi will still continue to stock more yarn, but for the price point of $2 to $3 per skein, I honestly was like, oh, like no brainer, like I should test it out. So I bought a few different colors, one of which will be white for the base of the egg. And I want to just kind of test it out because I know that a lot of people have different preferences around yarn, especially for like this kind of, I think it's called chenille yarn, or like blanky or plushy yarn. And so this is a brand that I just hadn't heard of, and I was feeling it and it felt like it might be not too bad quality. So got this. On the other end of the spectrum in terms of price point, I have heard so much about the Hobbii honey bunny yarn, and for the longest time I wanted to put in an order, but I just couldn't really justify it because I wasn't doing heaps of stuff that required this kind of plushy chenille yarn. Sorry if I'm butchering that, chenille yarn. So I recently bought a pattern and it required or at least recommended the honey bunny Hobbii yarn, and so I thought, you know what, like I want to make that pattern as close as I can to what the creator intended. So I ended up buying a bit and ended up buying some yellow as well for the egg yolk. Straight away I can tell you though that the honey bunny yarn just feels a lot higher quality, and the plushiness goes all the way around the internal yarn or string, if that makes sense, versus this, and I'll be able to show you guys later in some closer photos, this feels a little flatter, so it's not actually like the furry parts or the chenille parts of the yarn are not wrapping all around that internal thread. So I guess we'll see how we go, and I'll be able to give you some recommendations on how it all looks and how it all crochets up and what I think. So yeah, that's my project for this week. I will be crocheting a large amigurumi fried egg and also testing out 2 different types of plushy chenille yarn. And if you really like this video, or if you'd like to see more of the kinds of stuff that I'll be crocheting, then please like and subscribe to my channel. So let's get into it. Compared with the honey bunny, you can kind of see that it's kind of like a pipe cleaner where like the middle bit is kind of starting to come off of the thread in the middle. And so this yarn tends to be like quite almost like flat, versus this is the honey bunny Hobbii yarn, which is obviously a very different price point, and it just feels really round and a lot more plush, and you can't see right into the center of the threading. So hopefully it'll look okay paired together, but I'll see how I go. So far so good. So I'm crocheting a circle, and honestly you can't really tell that kind of flat part of the yarn. It is hard crocheting with the white yarn, so I am finding that I really need to use these filming lights so that it makes it a lot easier to find the stitches. But yeah, it's coming along really well. It feels really good too. Okay, so because I haven't actually moved where my increases are, you can see that I'm getting kind of like that hexagonal kind of like straight sides as opposed to a round one. But for the purposes of this project, I don't think it matters too much, because I am going to make some places kind of increased and decreased depending on how I want the egg shape to look, so it's going to look more organic. So far the yarn is holding up quite good. I think I could probably even have maybe sized up another hook size. This is 6. I think it's working well. Pretty good though in terms of like just how it's sitting. I think it's like quite a good yarn. So you know, like this could actually really, this really like cheap Aldi yarn could actually really work well for a project if you so wish. As you can see, this is the egg whites. It's looking pretty good. Added obviously some of the unevenness here on purpose, so I started trying to add different heights, so like half double crochet or double crochets in some sections, just to make it look more organic. There are a few ends that I probably still need to weave in a little bit better. Aside from that, it's all looking pretty good. I'll probably do that afterwards on the underside. And so now I am actually going to start with the Honey Bunny Hobbii yarn, and I'm going to, this is the first time I'm using Honey Bunny, and I've always heard really good things about it. So what I'm going to do here is, I've got this, I haven't tied it off properly yet, but I'm just going to create a bit of room and cut that and get started on this. The recommendation is a 7mm hook, but I used 6 for this, so I think I might stick with the same hook that I used and see how I go. Okay, so one thing I've noticed, I've done a magic ring and I've crocheted 6 single crochets. I'm trying to pull the thread to close the ring, and it's really hard to do it. It's like stuck. I don't know if this is like a yarn thing, or maybe I did it wrong, or maybe this is why they say to use a 7mm hook, but I feel like my gauge has been quite soft, and I think that might be why that's happened. Like that's already happened going in. So I guess this is like a more, I don't know if this is like a more delicate yarn that I'm used to or something. So I'm just gonna trim that off and I'm going to start again. I don't think I've done this wrong, but maybe I just need to hold it a bit lighter. Okay, and okay, so I can't tighten this like at all. I guess I'm not used to using this kind of like quality of yarn, I suppose. 6. Oh, it's still really hard to pull this ring. Okay. Well, at least that bit's done. Oh my gosh. I'm a little bit worried at how that turned out. I suppose I mean, the quality, this feels amazing, but I mean, in a different way to this kind of like blanky yarn. The chenille is, yeah. Okay, well at least we got that. So from here, I'm just going to do a big circle, so it'll be about this size, and I'm going to make it dome shaped. And I hope I don't get too many other issues with this yarn. I might redo this last stitch because that's sticking up a little bit. Ooh, I'm scared to frog anything because I feel like maybe either my tension is too much for this type of yarn. I'm not too sure, so let me see how I go progress wise. I've now done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of increasing in 6, and I might go around it one time because I do want it to start looking more dome shaped, because right now it's quite flat. I think I've gotten the hang of this yarn. I think it's just, yeah, it was different to this, and I am a bit more used to this kind of blanky type of chenille yarn that was flat, whereas this is, I guess, this is so soft. It feels amazing. So highly recommend if you want to be making it for plushies and that kind of thing, but I've also had to kind of get used to it because I just haven't used this before, and it does freak me out when I am pulling or redoing sections because it just kind of sticks a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the hook size, but I've really tried to hold back in terms of like tension. Like I'm trying to keep it neat, but I am crocheting quite softly, I thought. So it does freak me out a little bit that if I pull away, like it could, you know, it could disintegrate a little bit. So that is something I'm slightly worried about. Okay, the egg yolk is done. So I ended up doing basically first row 6 crochet, increase, so 12 in the second row, and then just doing increases, and then on row 7, row 6 and row 7 are the same amount. So row 7 you just go all the way around once, then row 8, row 9, row 10 is still doing increases of the 6, and then row 11 is just the same as row 10, so all the way around. Row 12 is another increase, so 8 single crochets and then an increase, and then row 13 once all the way around. And you can see it's a little dome shape, and now I just need to get some stuffing. Oh, okay, it does, this stuff frays so easily, this stuff doesn't, so I guess take that as part of my review as well. It is very delicate, and I'm getting a lot of these fluffy yellow bits, so I don't, yeah, it does it very, okay, it's quite finicky. So let that be known that this stuff doesn't fray as easily, and this stuff, the Honey Bunny does. In order to kind of blend the white stitches, I'm only going through the stitch that's the closest in the, so only the back stitch, I guess, or well, I suppose this would be the front stitch. So just only go through the one that's closest to the egg yolk. So I'm just going to do that instead because it just looks slightly better. Okay, I have finished weaving in the ends. I have finished sewing in the egg yolk, and this is how it looks. It's too big to even fit on the screen. But yeah, this is the egg. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the stuffing's a little bit uneven, but just trying to make the sides look good. Yeah, and this is my egg yolk. Just a side view of it, looking really eggy. My fried egg. It's awesome, and so yeah, highly recommend both of these yarns. I think they're good for the purpose of this project, and really happy with how it turned out. Hobbii yarn is definitely a little bit finicky. I think I personally preferred working with this, but I don't know if it's because I'm just not familiar with it. So yeah, either way, this has been a really cool project to see come to life.